Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing you another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Speed Metal Kid Flash. This is part of the collective build, the Darkest Night wave. The Darkest Night is essentially the Batman Who Laughs in a new form. I ordered this figure from the McFarlane toy store. They shipped the entire bundle, and it's finally here today. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane toys, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse Kid Flash, collector build, the Darkest Night, figure 3 of 4 to complete this guy. Here he's in the package. Looks like he has a bunch of Speed Force effects, the torso of the Darkest Night, a collector's card, and a display stand. One side of the package, Kid Flash from Speed Metal. Other side, Symbiosis Kid Flash. He's in this weird, colorful costume, and there's a standard version, which is exclusive to the McFarlane toy store. Mine actually shipped today. Should have it soon. Of course, by the time I do the rest of the video, I'll have had him for a little while probably. At the bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case it helps anybody. And on the back side, here's the Darkest Night. Here's the PC with this figure. Here's a checklist of all the pieces. And here's the rest of the wave. Flash-themed wave, hence the name Speed Metal. So no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He comes with 5 different Speed Force effects, a display stand, and a collector's card. But before we take a look at those, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Kid Flash, Wallace West. He's from Speed Metal. He's not in his usual costume. A little bit more flashy and stylized. So let's take a look. Starting with his face here, he's got some red shades, looking kind of cool. They kind of simulate the wings or lightning bolts inside of his head. Now his fade here, nice line. He's got 2 of those cuts through his hair. I believe in the comics, typically those are cut into lightning bolts. Got a lightning bolt on his chest, all this red stuff sticking off, sort of forearm armor or spikes here. Looks like double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, a lot of red armor, a lot of spikes. Outfit is very stylized. There is some different texturing going on there. So some pretty cool stuff, but I much prefer the regular version of Kid Flash. And just a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Now let's check out his accessories, and let's start off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand. Typical McFarlane stand, black perfect circle. It says DC on the bottom. It's got 1 peg for the peg holes on his feet. Very thin, very basic. Now let's look at his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of this figure, Kid Flash. Kid Flash from Speed Metal. Now, I much prefer when they give us an image from the source material, the comic or whatever, versus simply showing us the figure we already have. On the back side, there's a description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. Now let's look at his Speed Force effects. He has a total of 5 of them. 1 for his chest, 2 for his arms, and 2 for his legs. They're all a little bit unique. They're casted in this red plastic, a little bit bendable so you can get around his limbs here. Like I said, all 5 pieces are unique sculpts. Here he is without the Speed Force effects. And here he is with the Speed Force effects attached. And here's Kid Flash in a running pose with the Speed Force effects attached. Now they've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories. Now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, he's staying about 6.8 inches tall, which can translate to about 17 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, gonna rotate from side to side. You can look up about that far, down about that far. Shoulders on a ball joint goes out way more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a butterfly joint between his shoulder and chest area, increasing the range of motion and covering up that gap. Bicep cut below that. Not a lot of range of motion there. Double jointed elbows that go all the way in. His wrist can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. Ball joint his torso, rotate around, forward and back. Another ball joint his waist, rotate around, forward and back. Giving him pretty good range of motion in his torso area. Legs, completely does the splits, not a ball joint, similar idea. Rotation is non-existent. They go forward, about that far. Back, not much. Double jointed knees below that. Then his ankles, forward and back. Rotate, tilt, rock. And he has toe articulation. For the next scene, let's switch to a city-type street setting. Here's Kid Flash running through the streets of Central City. Here's a closer view of the Kid Flash. He's on a mission. He's trying to go as fast as he can to break through the multiverse. His plan is to meet up with some other various Flashes and take down the Darkest Knight. Kid Flash has brought together Barry Allen, Wally West, and Jake Garrick, some of the fastest speedsters out there. They're going to take down the Darkest Knight, save the multiverse. Here are all four of those Flashes running together, speedsters in action. Another angle of the four Flashes. They're working together. They're going to take down the Darkest Knight. The four of them work together. They're breaking the speed barrier simultaneously. They're going to save the world from the Darkest Knight threat. Now let's check them out next to some of their action figures, starting off with some other Wallace West and Kid Flash figures. Here's a speed metal Kid Flash, next to the McFarlane Toy Store exclusive Rebirth Kid Flash in his traditional costume. I much prefer that one to this one. And here he is, next to the DC Direct version of the Wallace West Kid Flash from CW's Arrowverse, the Flash TV show. Here are all of my Wallace West Kid Flash figures together. Here's his Kid Flash, next to an original Kid Flash. This is Wally West when he was Kid Flash, back in the old Teen Titans. Now let's check him out, next to some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, with the rest of the speed metal wave. Barry Allen, Wallace West, Wally West, and Jake Garrick. Add in the Darkest Knight, and this is the entire speed metal wave. And add in the Dark Flash, and these 6 figures are everything McFarlane has made for the speed metal storyline. Now let's check them out, next to some other McFarlane Flash, Speed Force, and Speedster characters. Here he is, next to the Rebirth Barry Allen Flash. Then, with McFarlane's Injustice 2 Barry Allen Flash. And here he is, next to the Ezra Miller Barry Allen Flash from Zack Snyder's Justice League. Then, next to the Grant Gustin Barry Allen Flash from CW's Arrowverse, the Flash TV show. And now, next to the Page Puncher Barry Allen Flash. Then, next to a Wally West Flash from Justice League Unlimited. Here's Kid Flash, next to a couple of Wally West Flash figures from the Rebirth. And here he is, next to a couple of Reverse Flash figures. Then, next to Godspeed, who could be either a hero or villain depending on the story. And now, next to both versions of Red Death. Red Death is essentially a Batman Flash hybrid. Here's Kid Flash, next to the Dark Flash from Speed Metal. Here are all the different Speed Force figures McFarlane's made so far. We've definitely got quite a bit lately between the Speed Metal wave, the Page Puncher wave, McFarlane Toy Store exclusives, etc. And there's more upcoming. Now let's check them out, next to some other recent release McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here's this Speed Metal wave, collect to build the Darkest Knight. And here he is, next to the Target exclusive Crime Syndicate wave, collect to build Starro the Conqueror. Then, next to the Batman Arkham City wave, collect to build an undersized Solomon Grundy. Here's Kid Flash, next to the 2 most recent McFarlane Mega figures, Frankenstein and Mongol. And here he is, next to the most recent McFarlane Gaming wave. We've got the Arkham City Sick Joker, and the Arkham Knight Scarecrow and Red Hood. Then, next to McFarlane's DC Mortal Kombat 11 offerings, the Batman Who Laughs and Joker. And now, next to both the Amazon exclusive Tim Drake Robin and the Amazon exclusive Batman Family 5-pack, here's Kid Flash, next to the 3rd wave of Page Punchers. This is a Flash themed wave. We have Atom, Flash, Gorilla Grodd, Captain Cold, and Heatwave. And here he is, next to the 2nd wave of Page Punchers, based off Injustice 2, Batman and Green Arrow. Then, next to the 1st wave of Page Punchers, this is a Black Adam themed wave, Batman, Constantine, Superman, and Black Adam. And now, next to McFarlane Toy Store exclusive Hush Superman and Rebirth Kid Flash. Here's Kid Flash, next to some recent Target exclusive Gold Label figures, Kyle Rayner Green Lantern from Changing the Guard, Wonder Woman variant from Justice League Endless Winter, the Black Adam movie, Black Adam with Throne, and Defiance Deathstroke. And here he is, next to some other Target exclusive gold label figures, Ocean Master, and the 30th anniversary of Batman from Batman the Animated Series. And finally, next to some gold label recent Walmart exclusives, Speed Metal Dark Flash, Rebirth Shazam, Azrael Batman Armor, and Parallax Hal Jordan. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work my smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, next to some more McFarlane Toys. These are from different various video game properties. And here he is, next to one of my many different Batman cups. And now, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, with some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here he is, standing with some NECA figures. Then, next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. And here he is, next to some Mezco 112 collective figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here he is, with some Mafex figures. Then, next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it's a nice action figure, but it doesn't really do much for me. I have no problem with Kid Flash, but I don't need Kid Flash in this weird stylized outfit from the Speed Metal storyline. Just completely unnecessary in my action figure collection. I'm a casual Flash fan and a huge Batman collector. That being said, the action figure itself is just fine. Sculpt and paint job are excellent. Just got a couple small issues with his hair on the back. His accessories, 5-speed force effects, it's pretty nice. His articulation is pretty much everything you would expect from a current McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. If I were to rate this guy, especially for my specific needs and uses, I'm going to give him a 5.5 out of 10. Honestly, I'm just a little bit tired of the Dark Knight's metal, speed metal, death metal, all that sort of stuff. They are cool, make for some pretty good figures, but they really need to cover their bases first with some of the regular, iconic, and classic stuff. Just my 2 cents. I actually want it all, but I really want to have the regular looks before these alternative stylized looks. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.